Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode. Today I wanted to talk about the importance of building a railgun and getting it up to 4-star as soon as you can. If you find this video useful, please leave a like, subscribe, and let's jump into why I believe this is the way to go. If you know, this is my baby account and I just started this about 3 months ago, so it is pretty new if you are thinking about where a new account is on a new server. I'm actually a little bit ahead on some stuff, maybe a little bit behind on some things. I've been doing things a lot different because I have access to all the heroes right away. I had access to a lot of different things, including stuff like getting exclusive weapons. This is stuff you don't start getting until season 1. So I built this account a little bit differently because I wanted to quickly get access to things like the exclusive weapons and make the most of it, and it's really benefiting this account. So while there are some big perks that I have access to that make all the difference when I'm talking about this stuff, these things still can affect a new account on a new server as well. Without going into too much detail and boring some people with some information that they may not understand right away or not even have access to, let's just talk about my gear and what I've been doing and why I believe getting a level 4 star imprint on your railgun is probably the best thing you can do right away. And I'm mostly making this video because I've seen people sitting on these gear blueprints. And if you don't know what those are, these are the gear blueprints right here. This item, which I have 11 of. As you collect these, so you need these in increments of 5. You need 5 for level 1, 10 for level 2, 15 for level 3, and then 20 for level 4. So in order for me to get this railgun to level 4, you need a total of 50. Do you need those all at once? No. So don't sit there and wait until you have 50 before you start doing upgrades. It is best if you actually upgrade as you get the prints. And when I say that, I don't mean go ahead and upgrade every piece of gear you have to 1 star. No, don't do that. Don't get a bunch of 1-star pieces because your gear blueprints make so much more power for your team if they're consolidated. So doing increments of 2 on your gear. So if you look at the gear here, level 4, you'll see these stats, the extra attributes down at the bottom here. These are the star level imprints. When you get them to 20 and then 40, is where you get the crit rates. And then when you do 2-star and 4-star is when you get those again. And it goes from 2.5% up to 5%. So let me switch over here just so you can see. So this gun is level 20. You get the crit rate. As you level it up, you're going to unlock these. And then when you do the star imprints, it doubles the value aside from the attack. The attack, that's a fixed number and it goes up by 500. The crit rate does double though. And then when you look at the defensive gear, the physical damage reduction on the armor piece and then the energy damage reduction is at every 20 levels. And then same thing with the star imprints or gear imprints, whatever you want to call them, is every 2 levels. So star level 2 or in star level 4. So getting these up to 1 star, if you get a bunch of 1-star pieces, you are missing out on the big upgrades when you get it to 2-star. So for instance, the energy damage resistance, if I get this up to 2-star, it's going to go from 10% to 20%. That's 20%, essentially 20% less energy damage resistance or energy damage that this hero is taking, which is huge in a battle. Okay, so now that we got the importance of why you get the star imprints done as fast as you can, now let's talk about why I think the railgun is one of the best choices to get upgraded to 4-star first. When you look at the gun, you can see hero attack 8,621. I have this right at level 4. I haven't done the little incremental upgrades to get it ready for a mythic upgrade. So there's a little bit more room for improvement. But I mean, the stats on this are fantastic. It does throw in a little bit of defense too. So a little bit of defense for my diva for getting this upgraded. But then the crit rate, 27%. I mean, I have an additional 27% chance to crit, which is huge. When you're talking about trying to maximize damage, the crit damage your heroes do is a ton. And then down at the bottom here, boost hero attack 13.5%. So take all your hero attack and then add another 13.5% to that. So it is very, very powerful when you get it up to 4-star. Okay. And what do you need damage for? World boss. World boss early on, the early stages, while they don't give a ton, that stuff adds up. And the faster you can start getting through those levels, start pushing up to 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, and then up to 1 billion damage on the world boss, the faster you can do that, the faster you get those big chunks of resources. So the tank world boss, you're getting the actual resources, the resource choice chest. So you can select whether you need iron, you need food, you need gold. And then they also have speed ups in there. And then the aircraft world boss is where you're going to get things like ore. You're going to get ore, and then if you get high enough, you can start getting mythic prints, mythic gear blueprints for this gear. There's 2 levels in the world boss to where you can get 10 mythic prints. That's 2 free pieces of mythic gear for your team. And while getting something to level 40 and then getting it up to 4-star is not going to get you anywhere near the 2 billion you need to get the first set of mythics, it is a big step in the process to doing so, because this is going to add so much more damage to your team. And then just over time, as you level up their skills, you get their star imprints up, their star levels up, the more damage they are going to do. And therefore, the world boss is just going to become easier and easier for you to get to that next target as you do those upgrades across your team. So early on, getting the 4-star railgun, it's going to give you a huge advantage in the world boss, getting through some levels, because then you can switch it onto your best heroes that you need. For instance, world air boss, throw it on your diva. If it is the tank world boss and your Kim is at a decent level, throw it on your Kim. And it's just going to amplify the amount of damage that they do. When you attack those and you hit the certain bosses, like the tank world boss, you put it on Kim, because Kim is going to get a 50% damage increase buff. So that plus the gun is just going to have her numbers shoot through the roof in comparison to just a level 40 gun. And what I would suggest people do is once they get their level 4-star imprint railgun, is to start working on the defensive gear. I know, again, I'm doing things a little bit different on this account. And if this was a real account that I started on a new server, it would not look like this. I wouldn't focus on Diva as hard as I had at the beginning. My Skylar wouldn't be working on 5-star, so just ignore all that stuff. If this was on a new server, my Carly would be higher level. I would definitely have level 40 armor pieces and radar pieces on not just her, but also on Lucius, because I want to have that defensive aspect. And then I probably would have had a level 40 gun on Morrison and then Skylar too. And I may or may not have done maybe 2-star imprints on both radars for Carly and Lucius before I started doing the data chip on Diva. So that's kind of up to you if you want to do that, because you want to have a nice balance of attack and defense. I don't recommend, I've seen people do it before, and I'll say this again, do not go all in on just attack gear. Don't have a bunch of level 4 guns and a bunch of 4-star imprint guns and a bunch of 4-star imprint data chips. You need to have some star imprints on your radars for your Lucius and Carly. And when I'm talking about the radars, I'm talking about the 2 pieces on the right, and then the armor pieces kind of on the left there, the second one in. Those need to have some star imprints to them too, to kind of balance that out, because you need to have those guys last you round after round if you're fighting and you're hitting people and you're trying to do clear through as many waves as you can. So if somebody has 3 teams on the wall and you want to make sure you're going through all 3 teams, your best bet in doing so is having a strong defense. It's not all about having just super strong attackers. That can only carry you so far, because as soon as you run into somebody that's a little bit beefier, they're going to melt down your front line, and then it's all going to be left on your back line, and they're just not nearly as strong as your defenders, because your defenders, not only are they beefier, but they are also giving your attackers buffs too. So reducing their damage that they're taking or increasing their defense. They're doing all kinds of things. So don't just ignore them. So my recommendation would be to build a 4-star gun and then start working on the defensive gear for, say, for instance, your Carly. If you're working on tanks, that could be Murphy, Williams, or if you're working on missile, it would be Adam or McGregor. As long as you are focusing on certain things at a time, not just throwing in star imprints everywhere, you should be fine. Balance it out, do some attack, do some defense, but don't leave things at 2-star. I've seen them too where an account had about 8 different pieces with 2-star imprint gear. Get some things up to 4-star, get it ready for Mythic, have some of those in there. You can have a couple 2-star pieces here and there, but having things up to 4-star is just going to give so much more value to those heroes, whether it's making them even stronger defensively or making them do more damage with your guns or your data chips for your attackers. And that's it for this video. I hope this helps. I know it's kind of a little bit all over the place. Just depends on what you want to do personally. I recommend you run the 4-star railgun and then you upgrade things after that, however you want to, with some balance in there is what I always recommend. Thanks here for watching though, guys, and have a great day.